I'm about to share with you the 5 worst digital product mistakes. And if you're making even one of these, it could kill your digital product sales. Whether you're brand new or you already have a digital product that isn't selling, avoiding these mistakes is critical if you're serious about succeeding with digital products. So let's dive in and be sure to stick around for the 2 advanced tips towards the end of the video. All right, mistake number 1 is creating the digital product before you pre-sell it. This one is massive. Like if I had $1 for every time somebody came up to me and they're like, I've been working on creating my digital product for weeks, months, years, and my heart just sinks because I know that that is a huge red flag that they're probably not going to make sales with their digital product. Hear me out. When it comes to creating and selling digital products, most people get the most excited for the creating part. I don't think most people wake up on a daily basis and they're like, I just love selling, right? In fact, I think a lot of people actually dread selling and they see it as something negative. So the first thing I want to do is help to rewire your brain about selling, because selling is not a bad thing, especially if you're not using any bad tactics, right? Now, I don't teach, high ticket sales calls or pressure sales or DM sales or any of that. I simply teach you to put a digital product out into the world and lead people to it, and they get to decide if they want to purchase it or not. There is literally no pushing, hard selling, pressuring at all. So the first thing I want you to do is get the idea that all sales is pressure sales out of your head. Think about the last article of clothing you bought. You probably were not pressure sold into buying that pair of jeans or a new t-shirt, right? You probably went to a website like Nordstrom.com and you were like, this is a cute t-shirt, and you bought it. And you probably didn't regret it thinking, man, I felt really pressured into buying that, right? If that is a scenario where you did feel pressured, think about one where you didn't, because that is exactly what we're talking about with digital products, is sharing free information where they can check out your paid product if they want to, and they get to decide fully with no pressure whatsoever if they want to buy it or not. Now, when you sell in this way, selling is actually serving. You're saying to people, hey, you have this problem, I have this thing that will help you solve that problem, and you can buy it if you want to, no pressure, right? That is the type of selling that I like to do. And that is exactly how you're going to pre-sell your digital products. Again, the biggest mistake I see is people getting really excited to create the digital product and creating it before they pre-sell it. And this leads typically to people not getting sales because they haven't proven that there is a product market fit. They haven't proven that people are willing to actually buy that digital product. Okay, so what is pre-selling? Pre-selling is simply selling something in advance and delivering it later. For example, Taylor Swift concert tickets, right? You could buy those in advance, and then her show maybe was a month, 2 months, 3 months from then, and then you go to the show and you're delivered the product, right? That is pre-selling. Or another example would maybe be a pottery workshop that you can take in your local city. You go ahead and you prepay for like a 6-week pottery workshop or a 1-day pottery workshop, and then you show up and you get what you paid for. Now, pre-selling your digital product is the exact same thing. What you're going to do is figure out what's the title of your digital product, what's the one problem that it's going to help someone solve, and what's all included. And then you're going to create a checkout page and you're going to send people to that checkout page and say, hey, if you buy this now, you are going to get access to this in 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 months, 3 months. You get to choose how far out you want to deliver it. And then that gives you time between pre-selling it and delivering it to actually create the product. That way you're actually getting sales up front, and you're only creating the product if it actually sells, right? So you know it's going to sell or not. And if it sells, you're actually getting paid to create the product versus spending all this time creating the product, crossing your fingers and being like, well, I hope this sells. And most of the time it doesn't when you do it that way. You really need to pre-sell it. And if you want to learn my entire process for creating and selling your own digital products for consistent income, along with my copy, scripts, Canva templates, and done-for-you tools, be sure to check out my brand new free on-demand training. It's the first link in the description below this video. All right, mistake number 2 is trying to teach everything that you know inside of your digital product. Repeat after me. More information does not equal more value. In fact, most people would rather spend less time and consume less content to get the result that they want, right? So let's just say you have a digital product that is like, I'm going to help you lose 10 pounds, right? Would you rather learn how to do that in a 500-page ebook or a 5-page ebook? Would you rather learn how to do that in a 50-hour course or a 50-minute course or workshop, right? Obviously, you would take the shorter amount of time. So people always ask me, how long should my digital product be? And my answer is however long it needs to be to get that person a result and no longer. This This is not a game of show off to your customers how much knowledge you know. That's not what they're paying for, right? This is a game of how quickly and easily can you help get someone a result with it being the lowest amount of effort from them, right? And if you can do that, you are going to make a lot of sales. And this is also why niching down is really smart, because if you're like, I help business owners make money, that's going to be a really hard digital product to create because you're not helping someone specific. You're not helping them get a specific goal. Whereas if you're like, I help boudoir photographers book their next 5 clients, that is so specific. That is so specific that not only is your marketing going to be easier, but actually teaching and helping people get a result is going to be easier. If you're like, I help business owners make money, that is so broad. It's going to be really hard to find people. Maybe someone's a designer and they see that and they're like, am I the right business owner for this, right? Or a designer joins and you're teaching tactics from when you ran a gym. And then that's not really going to correlate to what they're trying to do, right? So you don't want to go too broad either. The key here is to get your customers a result as quickly and easily as possible within your digital product. All right, mistake number 3, and this one, I'm not gonna lie, this one irritates me the most. This one really irritates me when people are just simply spending time on crap that is not gonna move the needle when they're new to business. So for example, they're like, hi Molly, I've never made any digital product sales before, ever. What kind of logo should I have? Who should be my website designer? Should I be getting trademarks? What kind of lawyer should I be getting, Molly? None of this matters. You haven't made a damn sale. You need to focus on making sales first. You don't need to worry about looking like a business owner, and you need to actually frickin' be one, right? None of that matters, because I have seen so many times, people that have like the fancy website, the billboard in Times Square, the branded clothing with their logo on it, all the crap that you don't need. And then those people don't have any sales. Business is not about looking cool to others. It's about making money and doing smart shit with that money so you have freedom. Are you with me? Are you with me? Just say no to ego-driven activities. Say yes to smart business and smart money-making activities. And again, I just want to quickly let you know that I created a totally brand new free on-demand workshop that's going to walk you through discovering the digital product that you should sell that will actually be profitable, how to launch and make your first sales, and of course, how to automate your sales for consistent income with your digital products so that you can have a freedom-focused business. Go ahead, register your seat for this free on-demand training. It's the first link in the description below this video. All right, mistake number 4, and this is one of the first and most painful mistakes I've ever made in business, and that is waiting to sell until you have a big enough audience, okay? Whew, this one was painful. With my very first digital products business, for some reason in my head, I was like, I need to have 5,000 email subscribers before I can make sales. Nobody told me that. I didn't read that anywhere. I made that up in my little noggin and I thought that was smart. I don't know why I thought I needed that many. You really don't. In fact, I tell my students, just get to 200 email subscribers, do a survey, and then pre-sell your digital product. That's it. And then the cool thing is as your audience grows, your sales grow together. Think of all the sales I missed out on waiting until 5,000 email subscribers to make sales. Painful. Not to mention, if that takes you weeks or months or years, those people have been on your email list for that long without you actually serving them and helping them with your product, right? So they're just sitting there and they're probably going to get sick of your emails eventually because you're not offering them a way to learn from you further, a way for them to actually pay to solve the problem that they want solved. Instead, you're like, I'm going to wait until this arbitrary number in order to start making sales. So please don't do this. If you're watching this and you have no following, get to 200, do your survey, and then start pre-selling your digital product. If you're watching this and you're like, Molly, I already have like 50,000 subscribers and I haven't sold anything yet. Hop to it. There is no better day than today to get started, because obviously you can't go back in time, right? But you can go forward taking action. The biggest thing to take away here is stop thinking that you need to wait until a certain number to start making sales. You want to do it as soon as possible so that you can grow your sales as you grow your audience. All right, mistake number 5. Whew, this one's painful. I have also made this one myself. I've made this mistake myself. And that is creating the digital product that you want and feel like making instead of creating what the market actually needs to get the result that they want. Mic drop, right? I think people watch videos like this and they get really excited to create their own digital product and they're like, ooh, like a journal would be fun, or like a course would be fun, or whatever would be fun to create, right? But they're not thinking about their actual customer, right? Think about every single business that is out there that is successful. They solve a problem. They solve a clear problem, right? Look at the business Spanx with Sarah Blakely. She created something where she put on pantyhose and cut the feet off because it smooths everything out so you look better in like a dress or like more fancy clothing or whatever. Or look at Netflix, which has definitely been through many different waves, but they started out actually mailing DVDs to people because we used to have to go to like Family Video and walk around the store and pick up movies, which does anyone else miss that? Because I actually really miss that. I miss going with my husband Aaron to Family Video. You can tell I'm from the Midwest because we had Family Video. Walking around all the different aisles and like picking out videos and finding like really weird B movies. Like I really miss that. And then Netflix was like, people don't want to leave their house, so we're just going to start mailing them DVDs, right? And then came streaming. And then, they really listened to the market in order to pivot. They could have easily died from going from mailing DVDs to streaming, but they listened to their customers and they did what their customers wanted, right? They noticed their customers had a painful problem and they actually delivered on it. Or for example, my very first digital products business, which helped boudoir photographers. I was a boudoir photographer. A lot of other photographers were like, how are you getting so many bookings? How are you making so much money? How are you lighting? How are you posing? How are you doing your sets, right? And so I listened to the market. While in fact, the first product I made, I didn't listen and that one flopped. But once I listened to what people actually wanted, what their pain points were, and made digital products around that, that is when I actually started making sales. So don't ask yourself, what digital product do I feel like making? Ask yourself, what does my audience have a problem with? What is their number one most painful pain point? And how can I help them overcome that with my digital product? Okay, drum roll. Now we are into the bonus mistake category. And bonus mistake number 1 is expecting your first launch to be life-changing. I have known so many people, like I see it in my Freedom Creator Club membership community all the time, where people will write a testimonial in Freedom Creator Club and they'll be like, well, I did my launch, but I only made 23 sales. I'm like, girl, first of all, we need to you need to fix that mindset and let yourself be happy that you had a win. It's hard to get a product market fit and get sales at all, let alone you got 23 sales. You should be happy with that, right? But I find a lot of people aren't happy with it because they're like, I thought I would make 7 figures. I'm like, who is out here telling people the first time they launch a product, they're going to make 7 figures? Like Spanx didn't do that. Amazon didn't do that. Netflix didn't do that. Like that is not a normal business behavior. That is not a thing that happens. People that are having 7-figure launches, they've been in business a while. They have a tried and true product. They've launched it before. They have improved and improved and improved their launches over and over and over to get there. Your goal with your first launch should be making any amount of sales, 3 sales, 4 sales, 5 sales, 50 sales. And you should be thrilled with that because that is the hardest part in business, is getting product market fit. And once you have that, then you can scale up. So please, if you think the first time you launch a digital product, you're going to become a millionaire, girl, drink some reality tea because that is far from the truth. The good news is you can eventually build a 6 or 7 figure a year business, but yes, it's going to take time. And the first step in that is doing a launch, getting product market fit, getting those first sales, and then scaling up from there. Okay, bonus mistake number 2, and this one's my favorite. Like, it's a horrible mistake, but also my favorite because when people change this, this is actually how they get to 6 and 7 figures a year. So I love this one. And that mistake is creating more products instead of focusing on scaling the one they already have working. That's my song. And I made this mistake. If you can't notice a pattern here, I've made a lot of mistakes. That's okay. That's what happens in business because mistakes are what? Learning lessons. Yeah, it happens. You're going to make mistakes in business too. It's okay. It's okay. So here's what you want to do. Once you have your product launch and you make some sales, and it's like 5 sales, and you should be really happy about it, right? Then what you want to do is scale that up. Don't think to yourself, well, this product made $3,000. So if I make another product, that's $6,000. Girl, what? That was my thinking back in the day. I made like 20 grand from a product. So I was like, well, if I just make 20 more products, what? Yeah, I don't know. You can tell me how dumb I was in the comments for thinking that. Whatever, live and learn. Here's the thing though. Then you got to come up with a new idea, survey your list, create a new product, make new sales copy, launch the product. Like that is so much more work. Instead, you could just, I don't know, drive more traffic to the checkout page that's already working and make more money. Which one sounds more fun to you? I'm going to go with number 2. All right, last call. If you haven't registered your seat for my free on-demand training yet, what are you waiting for? It's the first link in the description below this video. Now that you know the 5 worst digital product mistakes and of course, how to fix them, you might be wanting to learn which 5 digital products don't sell anymore so you can avoid those. But how do you do that? Well, it all starts with watching this next video here, because when you pair what you just learned with what's in this here video, it's going to be a lot more powerful. See you in the next video.